Ella, could you please tell us why we consider them? Are they more perspective?
Thank you, Vika. So we have thoroughly analyzed the industries selected. Each industry has its own priorities for what exactly do they need ZEM coating. The unifying feature of all the industries is their susceptibility to corrosion. We have proposed specific objects and details where ZEM coating will be of greater use. For example, pipes and derricks for oil industry. And also the perspectives of each market are quite optimistic, and we are absolutely sure that the procurement volumes will grow accordingly. Then we have separately analyzed European market and that of CIS countries, where we included Russia, because market trends for them are different. For example, Europe plans to abandon gas usage, so it is pointless to sell ZEM coating for these purposes, whereas alternative energy development grows leaps and bounds and is strongly supported by the EU. On the contrary, in CIS region, the consumption of gas is predicted to increase, and alternative sources technologies are not really developed. Construction industries has a positive prognosis in both regions. Due to the specifics of each region and different key factors, pricing policy will vary accordingly. We will offer a flexible pricing for each client individually. Now, Kate, what about our go-to-market strategy?
Well, it's not that simple. Let's see. B2B business and steel industry have their peculiarities. In our strategy, we should first see questions from all the stakeholders who take part in the decision-making process. For our message, we should make arguments what will cover each of these questions, from economic efficiency to material adaptability. To reach out to the stakeholders, it's necessary to use both online and offline channels on different stages of customer journey. Such a combination will help us to keep up with the latest marketing trends and gain maximum profit. Advanced user interface of the website will help decision makers to get to know the product better and explore its advantages through visualization, detailed characteristics, and convincing content. As to offline initiatives, conferences are still the most effective ones. They allow us to reach to a wider group of the target audience in a closer way and get in contact with potential clients. Personal meetings and consultations will allow us to adapt our material to the needs of every client and propose them a tailor-made solution. This is especially relevant for large companies who particularly appreciate a personal approach and flexible conditions. The detailed customer journey map is attached as Appendix 1. So strategy is clear, but what about money? Kate, are we going to thrive with this market entry?
Thank you, Kate. Of course we will. We analyze the company's performance over the past years in order to predict what effect the new product will have. According to the statistics, corrosion breaks from 10 to 20% of the annual steel production. We decided that we should increase production by 10% in order to replace the metal damaged by corrosion. According to that, we should produce additional 1.58 million tons annually and then increase output by 1 percentage point each year. In this case, it will bring us additional $2.5 billion in revenue, and it's about 20% of the total growth of the revenue of the company. Assuming the inflation rate and other factors, we predict that the net profit in 2028 will be more than $5.9 billion. Also, we found some other ways to boost the revenue and evaluated the effectiveness of the marketing activities. Kate already mentioned our marketing activities, and all of them in the first year, they will be really costly, but then it will go down, and in 2023, it will pay off. As for the investment attractiveness of the project, I can say that the product has clear advantages. It can be used to convince, it will be used convincingly in sales, and it will bring additional revenue to the company. And our last part, and the most sharp, it's risks. We have identified two main categories of risks. It's industrial and go-to-market. The main risks are associated with the emergence of the competing materials and shifts in the industries. Also, consumers may prefer price over quality. And there are also risks associated with the improper communication with the target audience. To mitigate these risks, we need to apply personalized offers and provide product warranty. Moreover, to minimize other unexpected risks, we should enter the market as soon as possible. And the best option is 2022. Here you can see our implementation steps. So the best option is 2022. And yes, ladies and just on time, as usual. Thank you for your attention. We are ready to answer all your questions.
Okay, thank you, ladies, for your presentation. I would like to ask our jury members, please raise your hands in Zoom in order to have an opportunity to ask a question. And I can see that Ekaterina Gribova from Air Telecom wants to ask a question, please.
Ladies, hello. Thanks a lot for your presentation. I've got one question. What do you think about changing the state standards? Because still is should be about the standards. State standards, I mean. Shall I translate? Is it clear?
Do you mean state standards in what particular region, or?
What market did you choose? Russia, Europe?
We choose both. So both European and Russian and CIS markets.
Okay. And what do you think about the standards, European standards, Russian standards? Should we change it for the new technology?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I got it. I think, of course, some changes should be made according to the market peculiarities, but due to the fact that we have two different factories in the Europe and in Russia, we can adapt our production line to the standards that each region has. So I think it's pretty possible.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ekaterina. And I can see that Dmitry Potapov from Henkel also wants to ask a question.
Hello, thank you very much for your presentation. I have a question regarding the slide with economic efficiency. I was wondering what is behind the increase of return on equity. How does this new strategy helps this KPI?
Well, thank you for the question. I got it. Sure. As we already mentioned in our presentation, new product and new project will increase the revenue of the company, and as it doesn't require much new equipment and much new materials, so this coefficient, this ratio will grow. That's the key point.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dmitry. And next, Elena Kalugina from GSK. Please ask your question to ladies team.
Yeah, hi colleagues. Thanks for your presentation. Just a quick question around resources. Have you thought what kind of resources company needs to implement this strategy? Thanks.
Well, probably.
Do you mean financial resources or sources for production?
Resources. I mean, go to market, right? It's the launch of a product. What resources do you need?
First of all, we need to spend some money on implementing these conferences and making contacts with potential people who will, the potential members of our supply chain, and create a client base. So I think a considerable sum of money in the first step of our go on the market strategy is needed, but it will less in the future. So I think moreover, we need some resources in the media, because we're going to promote our material there. And of course, we need to use the word of mouth to promote our material among different companies, both in the European and in the CIS markets.
Thank you, Judith.
Okay, thank you, Elena. And we also have one more question from Fedor Zakharchenko from Bain. Please, Fedor, ask your question.
Yes, hi team. Thanks a lot for the presentation. If you could go back to the market analysis slide, please. I have a question on what criteria did you choose to focus on these three key segments? So what were your key consideration and criteria to filter out, you have 6 here and you focused on 3-1. So could you please elaborate a little bit more?
Yes, we considered to choose these industries on the basis of 4 main factors. It's ecological damage, economical damage, because different industries, for example, some problems connected with the oil and gas spills and gas leaks due to the pipeline breaks, for example. And all these ecological, all these damages, they cause different environmental damage from such accidents, for example.
I can also add that market saturation was also an important factor because, as we see, for example, car and railway manufacturing is a perspective industry as well, but the market is full because our European competitors, they have a lot of offers considering considering details made of them for cars. So they already do it, and the market is full. And we decided to enter a freer niche in order to lower competitive disadvantages.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your questions, dear judges. I guess the time for questions is over, and thank you very much again, ladies, for your presentation. And before we start with the next team, I just want to remind you, dear judges, don't forget to fill your scoring tables. Please choose their ladies team, and if you don't do so, just put the score to them. And also, I would like to remind for other participants, please ask your questions to the ladies team in your evaluation tables. And please be careful to ask a question for a team that perform and not to others. I mean, be carefully just not to mischoose a different team. I guess Jager did something like this. Please double check that you did it right. And please, I want to welcome the second team, Big Three. Guys,
Yep.
We are waiting for you. Yeah, you can just check your presentation and turn on your micros and cameras, please.
Good afternoon. Just a minute.
Okay.
Okay, do you see the presentation?
Yeah, could you just click it? I mean, is it clickable?
Yes, of course.
Okay, yeah, that's great. And the interesting fact about you that you want to get into consulting, and I guess Big Three in Big Four sounds just great. And if you're ready, yeah, I will just turn on the timer and we will start. Are you ready?
We need 1 minute, please.
Okay.
Yeah, Zahar, can you start, please?
Yes, of course. So, is our time is going?
Yeah.
Let's start. Good afternoon, dear participants and judges. Our team, consisting of Artem Kurnosov, Madina Saparlieva, and Zahar Kislich, would like to present our go-to-market strategy solution for an LMK. The purpose of our reach was to develop a GTM strategy for the new NLMK technology. As the main stages, we have identified the definition of a specific market in the geographical scenes, the definition of the industry, as well as the criteria for their evaluation. Next, we developed a GTM strategy based on the specifics of the markets and industries. We have also identified key risks and way to mitigate them. The result is a successful entry into the market and increase in LMK's revenue by 15% by 20 and 25. And if we are talking about EBITDA, this multiplicator will be about 16.9% by 2025. Now I would like to talk about market analysis. So markets with greatest influences from NLMK are Russia, Europe, North America, Middle East, and the CIS. According to criteria below, we assessed the attractiveness of the different markets for product launch, and as a result got Europe and CIS plus Russia as the convenient ones with shares 18% and 41%. Also, we have analyzed such criteria as consumption volume, CAGR, NLMK presence, difficulty of delivery, and marginality. The analysis of the criteria of consumption volumes, growth rates, and marginality showed that if we are talking about our markets, we should choose automotive industry and renewable energy in Europe and construction in Russia, because it's a prospective market and they really looks good. We looked at the renewable energy market in Europe and came to the conclusion that the most suitable conditions are in the solar panel market. For solar panels, you need structures with good properties against weather conditions, which is why our ZAM steel is suitable. Moreover, the consumption of solar energy will almost double by 2024, and the potential growth at the moment is about 17%. Which shows Germany and Scandinavia as our preferred countries, as they currently account for the largest share of consumption and will account for about 30 billions in the market by 2024. Hybrid and electric cars market in Europe is also the most attractive, as the market capacity there is the largest of the countries available to us, and the market shows rapid growth due to the spread of electric vehicles. From the point of view of entering the market, everything is logical here. The market is not very concentrated, so it's easy. It's quite easy to enter. Also, here we highlighted Germany and Scandinavia as the most attractive markets because the growth over 3 years will be about 68%. Now let's talk about construction in Russian Federation. Due to national projects, demand will grow by 2 million tons in 2021, and in the future it will be about 25% annually. Given that in Russia about 70% of steel is used for construction and 66% of supplies are provided by local producers, it is advisable to enter the Russian market. Now I want to give the word to my colleague Madina so that she can tell us about more about the GTM strategy.
The go-to-market strategy will be based on the positioning of technological advantages of Fritzam product to reinforce its brand. The advantages of Fritzam product are the following: greater corrosion, to previous slide please. Greater corrosion resistance, smaller coating thickness, and higher plasticity. We define strategic focuses for our GTM strategy. This is joint production development with clients, flexible pricing strategy, and omnichannel sales. The joint production strategy consists of 6 steps will allow the NLMK to achieve a winning position and gain the loyalty of the clients, starting with choosing the most suitable still grade and coating and ending with information analysis and technical support. Using the methodology of generic pricing strategy, pricing model can be described as focused pricing strategy. We've adjusted it to the needs of three main customers of steel industry and build a function where horizontal axis means the extent of customization and the vertical axis means the price. Industrial customers may need the higher degree of differentiation, however, price stays relatively low due to the economy of scope. Large resellers will still profit from differentiation and customization, however, the degree of customization will be lower and the price will be a bit higher. What concerns small merchants, the price is relatively high for this group with the lowest degree of differentiation. However, assume that it can be lowered in the future. Omnichannel initiative means the tandem on online and offline channels, touch points of communications with clients. There are three groups of clients were identified with an end goal to build the brand value for them of Fritz product. The whole process of creating the brand is divided into three parts: raising awareness, consideration, and conversion. At the awareness stage, marketing tools are email marketing, traditional media publications, webinars, and marketing posts in the NLMK existing site with a Fritz product description. At the consideration stage, we present our product on conferences, trade shows, and do a follow-up with potential clients by direct mail or call. At purchase stage, we conclude a contract or meeting or sell through the established distribution channels. Sales rep can be operating through NLMK site. In the next slide, you can see the Gantt diagram illustrating the pace of our marketing activities and the percent of product launched by period. Thank you. I pass my word to Artyom.
Thank you. Before starting financial parts, I'd like to say that revenue will increase by 6%, not 15%. My colleague made a reservation. We are all nervous here. I hope that is okay. Analyzing the project's economy, we conclude that the 3ZEM will generate an additional 6% of FinalK revenue, as I said already, annually. On the slide's left part, you can see the graph of changes in revenue, total earnings before interest, taxes, debt, and amortization, and generated EBITDA per ton of sales. And the first year, we expect to produce about 20% of the estimated annual volumes. In the second year, 80% due to the availability of only 4 out of 5 coating plants that had been set by NLMK. And from third year, we forecast full capacity commissioning. In this case, we'll see more than 175 EBITDA per ton of sales with a projected volume of 450,000 tons per year. NLMK's ROE will also increase by around 2% by 2024 because of this product. Talking about pricing policy and marginality, which you can see on the slide, it's worth to say that when calculating the cost and comfortable selling price, we used NLMK's data and data from competitors in other markets, as well as the average added value of NLMK's premium products. The estimated cost of implementation is slightly higher than the average cost of implementation of high added value product of NLMK. The cost of sales in external market is slightly higher due to additional costs associated with logistics and legal aspects. The marginality of the project, even with a conservative pricing policy, is approximately at the level of NLMK's marginality and is quite strongly tied to the volume of production, as it can be seen in the graph on the left. We expect an increase in the cost of production by 5-7% with a plant's annual production and sales volume of 450,000 tons. About risks. We have identified the main risks at each stage of the GTM strategy and identified the main ways of leveling. Basically, process risks are solved by more competent management and identifying weaknesses in the business model of product sales. In this risk matrix, you can see how the impact of individual risks has changed after using the recommendations that our team has proposed. Thank you. It's our Big Three team. You can see on the slide below.
Okay, thank you very much, Big Three team, for your presentation. And now it's time to go to the Q&A session. And I can see that there are many raised hands and many jury members want to ask you questions. And I guess we can start with Ilya Belikov from NLMK. Please, Ilya, ask your question.
Hello, colleagues. I have the following question. You introduced brand as one of the key go-to-market elements. Have you thought about attributes that this brand should have? What could be these attributes? RTB or maybe brand character?
Already, yes, it's right. We introduced the FreeSum name for this product, and the main attributes we firstly considered the technological advantages of the product, firstly, and also as well the positioning of this product on the market accordingly to other analogical products will be that it is targeted on particular segments that are innovative and that are targeted for their long-term relationship. So this product, during the brand marketing campaign, there will be a stress on innovative component, and as well as the brand of NLMK as a whole, as a traditional brand with best supply system, with the best conditions and just-in-time logistics. So sustainability.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ilya, for your question. Thank you, the team. And I can see that the next question is from Olga Prokopieva from PNG. Please, Olga.
Hello, everyone. Guys, first of all, thanks a lot for your presentation. I have one question. How did you estimate incremental revenue for the new product? Other words, did you estimate any level of cannibalization versus current range of products?
Could you please repeat? Did we estimate any level? I had a problem.
Any level of cannibalization with current lineup of products?
Okay. Can we concern this question as like we have one product line and the second product line, which is wasn't installed now at this moment, and how did we calculate the profit from this? Is this your question?
In simple words, did you estimate any changes in switching from one lineup to new lineup of the products in the industry?
Yes, of course. And Anka said that
or your guess, and probably your guess is that 6% of incremental revenue you will get on top versus current.
No. Our new product is a high value added product, so we expect this additional revenue from this added value of our product. And Anka said that they plan to have new capacities just for this product, and that's our expectations.
I also would like to add that we analyzed the NLMK statement and find there are two products in the revenue: high value product and the base product, and we have calculated the multiplicator from these 2 points and find the percent which we can use to multiply our product's price. and it's how we can introduce our pricing policy. And if you are talking about equipment, our colleagues from NLMK already said that we have equipment for this and we don't have to buy it again. I hope we answer to your question.
Okay, guys, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. The team, your time is over, unfortunately. I would like to thank the team again for your presentation and judges for your questions. And I would like to remind once again, please, dear judges, fill the scoring tables for two presented teams, ladies and big three, who already performed their presentations. And I also want to ask participants from other teams, please also fill your tables with the questions to your opponents. I guess we need just something like 30 seconds to figure out with the scores. And during this time, I would like to ask the next team, Case Busters, to check their cameras and micros and whether their presentation is okay. Guys, please.
Can you see our presentation?
Yeah, could you click over it? Yeah, great. And
Great.
the interesting fact about your team is that all 4 members are from different cities. Wow, such a collaboration. And guys, are you ready?
Yes, we are ready.
We are.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, then I run the timer.
Right. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Today, our team would like to present you our go-to-market strategy for a new ZAM-coated rolled steel. We're Team Case Busters.
My name is Alexander.
My name is Mikhail.
My name is Timofey. And my name is Anastasia.
Right. Our task was to develop a go-to-market strategy for a new NLMK product. In order to do that, we had to firstly define attractive customer segments and the marketing plan for working with them. Secondly, to assess the economic efficiency of the strategy. And thirdly, to suggest a detailed risk map. Results of the analysis show that such industries as building infrastructure, mechanical equipment, and automotive industry are the most attractive customer segments for us due to their need in high-quality steel. Proposed mix of online and offline activities is suitable for customer segments that we mentioned above. Also, we identified specific countries in Europe and CIS region that should be considered for our product expansion. In case of implementation of this go-to-market strategy, NLMK would receive NPV, which will be equal to approximately $400 million, and the internal rate of return will be equal to approximately 84.2%. Now let's move to our market analysis. We conducted a market analysis that showed that Russia is one of the largest steel producers in the world, while clear market leader here is China. Also, we analyzed in which spheres steel is used and realized that building infrastructure, mechanical equipment, and automotive industries are the largest consumers of steel. Also, it is important to mention that these industries produce products of long or medium service life, hence our steel perfectly fits for them. Now, Alexander will tell you more about how our product may be suitable for these industries.
Thank you. In the building field, our steel can be used in the production of frames, ceiling cross pieces, ducts of any kind, sound barriers, shutters, and so on. In the automotive industry, sheet metal is largely used as well. Such parts as hoods, fenders, doors, roofs, frame, electric, frame elements, etc. are usually made of steel. Steel is relatively cheap and ductile material that can take almost any form you need. The use of aluminum and other materials, composites for instance, is relatively small and is connected more to weight reduction than to anti-corrosion properties. There is a vast variety application of steel in mechanical equipment. Any sort of frames, beams, levers, casings, shells, and brackets are also made of it. The pricing was a serious issue because it's vital for a new product to have a price that won't be too high or too low. Taking into account our competitors' supply, we decided to make it a little bit more expensive than the minimum value of our competitors. This measure will leave us a bit of room for maneuvers in case of dumping from other manufacturers. When choosing the right price, it's important to remember that our product helps saving money and time by the omission of a significant part of a technological process. So for certain application, that would be crucial. The building and infrastructure is also represented by big and influential companies. It would be great, but it would be great if we covered small and middle scale players as well. We have a pretty much similar situation with the mechanical equipment manufacturers. In the automotive industry, we should work on strengthening relationships with the largest players in both foreign and CIS markets. For each direction, our team has chosen the most appropriate marketing channels. All of them are effective to a reasonable degree for each industry and will provide us with new customers and reinforce our relationships with our current clients. We divide our initiatives into two main parts, online and offline. Based on our research, we concluded that context advertising, interactive website, and special web forum will be the best ways to promote our product via the internet. What about offline measures? We decided to use conventional methods of advertising, such as participation in exhibitions, conferences, and specialist targeted media advertising. Now I'm passing my word to Timofey, who will present you our marketing strategy.
Thank you, Alex. According to the mentioned marketing channels, we came to the 6 strategies to go to the market. Our new coated rolled steel. They think that our offline advertising will skyrocket customer awareness. We truly believe that these marketing initiatives will introduce the new NLMK product to the audience of 120,000 of people and 2,000 companies on the international and domestic markets. Developing our marketing strategies for the new product, we discovered a great field as online, for creating a strong press agenda and making new ways of customer sales more comfortable. Context ads will up customers' views to 50,000 of views monthly. And then we came to the great way of performance, new features of NLMK product line in the web. So let's see it. Okay, next we found that the manufacturing community is so huge, and it's a pretty reason to bring them together and give them tools for communication, experience exchange, and place for industry's advertisements. That's why we built the example of forum, best manufacturing practices to business. There is a main page of it. Okay, we found the best sales channels to spread our products the most. We explored all the qualified sales channels and chose the best ones with the greatest ratio of the cost of interaction and quality sales. Okay, there are personal selling and distributors. Personal selling gives a long-term relationships and fits the best for large-scale customers. Distributors is a way of high-frequency sales with middle-scale customers. So, Anastasia, according to our marketing strategy and sales channels, what kind of financial values will we get from them? And what schedule do we have to follow?
Timofey, here is a Gantt chart of our product launch. The development stage will take place throughout this year. The start of the conducting stage is in Q4 2021. The product release stage goes in Q4 2022. Finally, the ZAM steel launch will be in Q1 2023. We've assessed the economic efficiency of the go-to-market strategy and gotten an NPV of nearly $400 million and IRR of 84.2%. Hence, our project will bring profit and increase investment attractiveness of an LMK. However, at different stages of the go-to-market strategy, we may encounter different groups of risks that need to be mitigated. Process and emerging. Process risks have more certain probabilities than emerging ones, and in most cases, we have a clear vision about how to deal with them. Emerging risks usually have an external nature, and it's much more difficult to assume even how they will look like. So our idea about them is fairly vague, though we did our best to forecast at least a few of them. Development stage risks are the first to consider. All of them are process and mostly lie in the area of probable and major impact. The most severe risk is of budget shortage that we can bypass by prioritizing marketing expenses. Alex, conducting stage risks require structural mitigation. don't they?
Yes, they do, Anastasia. Opposite to the developing stage, they have both process and emerging origin, so their mitigation possibilities will differ dramatically. Unsurprisingly, the most serious risks presented here are of emergent nature. The most probable risk is the second one and will affect our offline marketing activity. Fortunately, it has simple and clear mitigation, so its impact can be softened considerably. The most severe risk in terms of an impact is number 4. Luckily, we have an idea of how to work in such conditions, and it's reflected in our mitigation. Now my colleague Mikhail will tell you about the stage of release.
Thank you, Alexander. Product release stage has process and emerging risks as well. The most severe risks are number 2 and number 5. The risk number 2 is that the product will not be demanded. One of the ways to mitigate this risk is to analyze target audience requirements. The risk number 5 is that a strong player will enter the market dumping the price. One of the ways to mitigate this risk is to have a margin for price reduction without loss. Here you can see in our annexes our justification, how we choose particular countries, information about our finance part, and I guess that's it. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, Team Case Busters is ready to answer your questions.
Okay, team, thanks a lot for your presentation. And now it's time for questions. I would like to ask Ilya Belyakov from NLMK to start the Q&A session.
Well, colleagues, actually, I didn't got which sectors you assume as the key for us to enter. So what segments we should enter first?
Yes, thank you for your question. It's a very good one. Firstly, we analyzed the total market consumption of steel, and we realized that building infrastructure, mechanical equipment, and automotive industry are the largest consumers of steel, and also that the product that they produce, it has long service life or medium service life. Hence, our product, ZAM Steel, perfectly fits for the needs of these industries. So that's why we decided that these industries are the most preferred one.
Okay, thank you, the team. Thank you, Ilya. Yelena Kalogina from GSK, you also wants to ask a question, please.
Yeah, thank you, team, for presentation. Just a quick question around supply chain participants. So you mentioned around distributors, but very briefly, could you elaborate there? Who are key partners in your go-to-market strategy?
For your question, can you provide us 15 seconds in order to decide who will answer this question? All right, Alexander is ready to answer this question.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your question. When it comes to distributors, it's important to mention that when we deal with smaller players or middle-sized players, we just can't deal with them directly because because of its great number. So we just physically won't be able to do that. In order to overcome these negative possibilities, we should sort of pass some of our stuff to the distributors in order to allow them sell our products, to embrace the widest possible audience of small and middle-sized market players and consumers of steel with these particular properties. I hope I answered your question.
Okay, thanks, Alexander.
Thank you, Elena. Thank you, the team. And I guess we have just a short time for a very small final question. And I guess Fyodor Zakharchenko from Bain, you can ask yours.
Yeah, hi team, thanks a lot for the presentation. Very quick one. So on marketing and sales again, so if we look at different, these three key segments that you chose, how different you envision your online and offline efforts to be different across these three industries? Because, well, they're pretty different in terms of key players, in terms of industry dynamics, and in terms of how can we directly or indirectly sell them. So what will be the key differences?
Yes, thank you for your question. Can you please provide us 15 seconds not to decide who will answer this question?
Yeah, but in such a case, you will have just 1 minute to answer.
Yes, Timofey will answer, is ready to answer.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for your question. Speaking of about key difference about our industries, I think, first of all, it will be domestic specialists of language and culture. Then we will see the main info events in these industries. And thirdly, I think the main thing to say about difference about these industries, it will be volume of steel consumption and the appropriate way to communicate with target audience and producers of steel among these industries.
Okay.
Thank you.
I guess your time is over, team. Thanks a lot again for your presentation. Thank you, dear jury, for your questions. And now you have just 30 seconds or maybe 1 minute to finalize your scores for the team Case Busters. And also, I would like to remind the participants, please don't forget to ask your questions in your tables for your opponents. That will be a great base for Blitz session. I mean, we will choose the best ones from there. Okay, and I guess I can ask the next team to prepare for the presentation. Self-confident gang, can you please turn on your cameras and check your presentation?
Yep, we're here, we're ready.
Okay, is it clickable? I mean, everything is fine with your presentation? Yeah, great.
Everything's fine.
Okay, then I will run the timer.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're Self-Confident Gang and we're ready to perform our solution to this case. Let's start with the executive summary. First of all, market analysis. The steel market promises some good tendency according to several factors, such as increasing demand for steel, increasing supply, and prices for steel products. As for the competitors, we can see strong competition on the Russian market, but at the same time, promising position of NLMK on the market. Concerning the initial marketing strategy, we came up with a suggestion to look into several spheres: salt environments, we'll talk about it more just in several minutes, farming, constructions, and automotive industry. Moreover, we have created detailed risk radar, which represents the probability and level of particular risk. Concerning the economic effects, and in particular investment attractiveness, the payback period is less than 2 quarters. The NPV is about 20 billion rubles. So to sum up, the project has a very strong investment attractiveness in a compartment with well thought out financial model.
Let's go deep in the market analysis. On the left, you can see several competitors in Europe and Russia. Most of them are focused on constructions, pipes, and automotive industry. In the center, you can see NLMK performance as well as the share of rolled steel with coatings in sales portfolio and share of their galvanized steel on the Russian market. As for some technology, we can produce it in 2 different locations on the Lipetsk factory and in Strasbourg. And the final part is steel market evaluation. The market is going to be fine. The tendency on the increase in prices and demand looks promising.
And here we go, salt environments. What do we mean by that? Basically, we're talking about any coastal areas nearby the sea where our steel coating can experience some major salt impact. So let's dive into main categories that we want to focus on. port construction of any types, in addition to that, lifeguards houses, lighthouses, and more. So to prove our customers that our steel is reliable, you can look at tests and effects of galvanized steel and steel with dam coating after immersion with salt water for 2,500 hours. The picture speaks for themselves, and the graph demonstrates prevalence of dam coating in comparison to galvanized steel. It's important to mention that this experiment has taken place in coastal area, so basically near the sea. Now let's turn down to farming. Here we are focusing on greenhouse structure, composting sheds, roofs for barns and greenhouses. Lower on this page you can see coating loss of dam and other steel products after immersion with ammonia water. The thing is that ammonia is widely used as a fertilizer for certain crops in farming and agriculture industry, as we see it perform excellence in these types of environments.
Here you can see another two spheres of our interest. The first one is constructions. Our steel can be used for residential houses in numerous ways. Next up, solar panels, frames, and any types of covers for cable racks, air conditioning units, etc. On the first diagram, you can see the coating loss from concrete contact, which is very important while building a house. Another diagram shows corrosion loss in rural area, basically in town. And the final part is about the automotive industry. In this field, the emphasis will go on low to medium price cars, because the premium ones usually get more pricey parts. And the main idea is to provide them with our unique and protective thumb steel.
And now about initiatives themselves. Salt environment. Russian government funds a project and its main goal is to develop ports and ways of communication by sea. The funding is insanely high, almost 1 trillion rubles. First of all, we can try to win a tender, but that might be pretty hard. So we suggest an LNK to contact ports, hotel developers, and private beaches to provide them with a ZAM steel. It also might be done by collaboration with the companies that builds initial construction for ports. And next up, farming. Here's the main objective is to contact the key players that have the most of their area, as we call it, greenhouse. So basically the most of the area with industrial greenhouses. And we found them, they all want to expand in the near future. And that's a great thing for us. We'll provide them with the necessary and long living material, which will maximize the lifetime value for greenhouses.
And what about constructions? Here we are focused on individual housing. We have seen 42% increase in area of individual housing construction subjects. The great thing is that our steel is suitable almost for everything. AC units and covers, garage equipment, pipes, outdoor greenhouses and water systems, cable racks, solar panel frames also. Next step will be contacting companies that are focused on custom constructions, cooperation with government if possible, and with companies building solar panels. And automotive industry, in this case, we want to continue LNK cooperations with car concerns and brands, while providing the highest quality possible and maintain acceptable price.
Now we are going to talk about economic effects. But first, let's discuss some simple but rather effective marketing. These ways will help us to raise awareness to the ZAM steel, to the NLMK, and drive more natural sales to our company and especially to this particular project. So here they are. Presentation of the factory to show the best out of our ZAM, main digital channel so your customers can find what they are looking for, participation in congresses to make our point and assess competitors, plus news and specialized magazines to develop brand recognition. Moving on to finances, we can see dynamics of discounted net income and regions where the majority of sales will be made. The NPV for the internal market is 9.9 billion rubles. EBITDA margin is around 30% and ROI is 28%. The payback will be already in the second quarter after amplifying. We beg you to check our initial financial model that we have sent you. There you can look through everything in details.
Next slide shows risks that we have found in Russian market. Please look at the right of the slide where you can see our risk radar system that shows risk probability. As you can see, significance of the risk increases towards the center, and there are risk levels from high to low. There are 10 risks on the slide, 4 process and 6 emerging ones, and you can see ways to minimize all of them. But as our time is limited, let's focus on the most important ones according to radar. First of all, supply disruptions. It can be solved by having reliable suppliers, by not using capacity to the maximum when drawing up contracts, and also by leaving a reserve capacity. Now let's look at the resources price volatility risk. It can be reduced by formula pricing and by vertical integration that allows to control costs and effectively manage the entire production process. The next important risk is an equipment failure risk that can be solved only by a rapid response strategy in the event of equipment failure. Dumping risk can be solved by non-price methods, to file a complaint with the FAS against a competitor, or another method is just to work on the quality of goods that we're selling. And finally, the inflation risk. That can be solved by usage of bank guarantee, insurance limits, and letters of credit, and also by interaction with expert communities and government agencies.
As we talked about Russia, we want to provide you with similar information on our Europe and CIS market, basically experts. The marketing strategy is going to be like the Russian one, that provide us with necessary recognition on the market. The NPV is 3.3 billion rubles, IRR is 57%, and the same payback period, second quarter of 2022. To sum up, all ratios indicate positive forecast for 6 years and make the project investment attractive. Moreover, the marketing interaction allows us to work effectively abroad. And again, don't forget to look to our financial model file after the presentation.
On this slide, you can see risks of the European market. In the right side of the slide, you can see the same risk rater system that we have used while analyzing Russian market. We have found 10 risks, 6 process and 4 emerging ones. You can also see ways to minimize them. However, again, let's focus on the most important ones. First of all, currency risk. In order to compensate the impact of currency risk, an LMK has to attract liabilities in the same foreign currency. Next up are legal risks that can be solved by the bill of lading, which is the central document in the export transaction, and it grants the right to a physically delivered product. To deal with misconception risk, an LMK should use acceptable payment guarantees, for example, documentary letters of credit under US UCP. Alternative ways to use the terms of supply on an open account with coverage in the form of a backup letter of credit or on-demand guarantee. COVID-19 risks can be solved by monitoring the market and the political situation, as well as the situation with the pandemic, and by trying to predict and analyze the received data. And the last one is logistics risks that can be solved by creating a new department of staff working with expert documentation to clarify all routes and evaluate alternative external logistics schemes. We have also distributed all the risks in accordance with the stages of a go-to-market strategy, and you will be able to see them in the third appendix. Thank you for your attention. It was Self-Confident Gang team, and we're free to answer all of your questions.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation, Self-Confident Gang. And I can see that we already have questions. Please, Dmitry Potapov from Henkel. You can ask.
Hello, Self-Confident Gang. Thank you for your presentation. I have a question regarding your strategy regarding competitors. So I have seen a slide where you have analyzed other companies working in the same industry, but regarding the competitor products, where would your new product be sitting on in terms of pricing, in terms of positioning, how it's different versus what they're doing, and what are you going to do?
Basically, let me start. Other members will help me. So we can see that on the share of galvanized steel on the Russian market, we're capturing 23%, NLMK captured 23% of the market. Actually, galvanized steel and ZAM steel are kind of the same, but ZAM, of course, has an useful advantage. As for different products, we think that our products, NLMK products especially, we think that it has much more probability to succeed, because we don't have exactly similar products that we found on the Russian market. We can see galvanized steel, but again, the ZAM coating is really unique, and that's the thing that will win our competitors in terms of in different spheres, for example, in salt environments, in farming, in construction, and automotive. Yeah, and concerning the price, we have the price in our the price of initial production of the steel in our financial model. You can look in it after the presentation. Maybe other members of our team want to add something?
Yes, I want to add something about our market analysis and our competitors' analysis. And so we realized that we would have to capture a large share of the market using an effective marketing strategy, and we would also need to increase production due to the increased demand for steel products. We also realized that we will compete with the galvanized steel market, as Vasily said, which has become a classic way where we will have the advantage of improved technology.
Yeah, and let's not forget that ZAM technology is the unique technology, and it's the only one in the world. So we do not have a lot of competitors in this field.
Okay, clear. One last question here. So is it going to be more expensive then if it's unique, or you want to find another pricing strategy?
Yes, I can say about it. So we discovered the technology, and we found all costs for all materials for our ZAM. So we found that it costs similar to the galvanized steel because magnesium and aluminum are cheaper than zinc, so the price is similar.
Okay, thank you. Good, I understand.
Okay, thanks a lot for your question, Dmitry. And Ilya from NLMK also wants to ask a question.
Hello, team. So I have the following question. Could you please pitch up 3 key pillars of your GTM strategy? I didn't catch up, actually.
Yeah, I can answer to this question. You can look at the third appendix. Here we have our GTM strategy in 4 stages. First stage is introduction. So we analyze the market and its spheres that will be interested in cooperation with us. Then we start to develop a market campaign and sell the product. We offer regular customers to buy ZAM. We actively use the marketing campaign in the second stage. Then we enter the European market and launch its market campaign, and we also stabilize sales in Russian market. Then we stabilize the European market in the third stage. We reduce amount of money that we spend on advertising. We increase the number of buyer. We build up the capacity, and the fourth stage is that investment attractiveness will increase, and NLMK share in steel market will increase the capitalization too. So you can basically see that in the third appendix.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot to the team and Ilya. And I guess we have just something like 45 seconds. And if you want, Ekaterina, you can ask your very brief question.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Hi, guys. You didn't mention the risk of COVID-19. Do you think it could influence your project?
Actually, we did mention it. It can influence on it, and the only way to predict it is just to analyze media, to analyze policy, and to be ready for it, and that's it. Because it's an uncertainty, unfortunately. That's an emerging risk. So basically the solution here is just to be careful with it and to know about it, to be concerned about it, and that's it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your question, Georges. Thank you very much to the team for your presentation. I can see that so far Georges have filled the scoring tables in a very good speed and mood. And please keep up the good work. Please evaluate also this team. That was a self-confident gang. Please find them in the scoring tables and put the scores. And also to other participants, one more time, I just want to remind that you also should ask questions in your tables for the Blitz session. And I guess for this, yeah, we can have something like 30-40 seconds to finalize your scores. please, the next team, case occupants. You can just check your technical issues and please show us your presentation on the screen.
Can you see the presentation?
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes, we are.
Okay, then I will run the timer and you can start.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Jury, we are case occupants who are ready to present our go-to-market strategy for a new NLMK product. But let me give you a brief summary. For production of steel with corrosion resistance, zinc, aluminum, magnesium, shows the client's marketing strategy, the current investment attractiveness, new steel coat,
Lera? Well, yes, thank you.
Economically efficient, anti-sound risk.
Is it like a technical issue on your, with your participant? Yeah, I guess I can just stop the timer and you can just have
all steps of strategy were defined. So?
Yes, it would be great.
Yeah, okay. Then you can just check your connection, please. And then...
Yes, could you please give us 1 minute?
Okay. So, case occupants, are you ready to start again?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Then I will run the timer right now.
I'm sorry for these technical issues. Sorry, we're starting one more time. Good afternoon again, colleagues and jury, and we are case occupants who are ready to present our go-to-market strategy for a new NLMK product. And let me give you a brief introduction. For production of steel with corrosion-resistant zinc, aluminum, magnesium product, we define key industries, regions, and moreover, chose the clients. Marketing strategy is divided into 2 directions, small businesses and corporations. The current investment attractiveness of an NLMK was assessed, but we also provide initiatives for increasing capital inflow. The launch of a new steel with coating is economically efficient, and 27 risks for all steps of the strategy were defined. So let's dive deeper. Valeria, please tell us, where do we need steel?
Dagmar, there is much more steel in our lives than you could ever imagine. Steel is everywhere. Bridges and fences are made of steel. Rockets, ships, cars, airplanes, steel is also used. Oil and gas is transported in steel drums, scuba gears, and moreover, in your kitchen, fridges, ovens, and fry pans. Daniil, what are the market trends?
All right. In 2020, global demand for steel in the world has decreased due to the pandemic, but according to forecasts, it will return to its previous level in the next 2 years. The Russian government intends to support the metallurgy by implementing national construction projects. The new NLMK coating is more resistant to corrosion than zinc and is cheaper than stainless steel. The global steel market with this coating will grow by 26% in 5 years. Daria, tell us how to choose the industry.
Sure, there are 4 main fields where steel is used. There can also be subdivided. Can we use the same steel in all of them? Of course, no. Exit, contact, and building are not suitable for our product. Thus, planes, ships, bridges must not be considered. Food appliances are not suitable according to GOST. On the other hand, building construction, power engineering, autos, trains, large home appliances are great sectors to offer some steel. Valeria, but which region to choose?
We advise NLMK to concentrate on regions where consumption exceeds production. Analysis of all these regions is presented on the slide. Australia and Oceania have already been equipped with Chinese steel. There is no equipment for ZAM production in North America. In addition to that, logistic costs to Latin America are rather high. Even though Asia is closer than the previous 3 continents, we have a strong competitor. China produces about 50% of world steel production. All this brings us to 4 regions of interest: Europe, Africa, Middle East, Russia, and CAS. Let's visualize it. In chosen regions, NLMK must concentrate on construction, power engineering, and heavy industry. Sales channels are direct contracts for B2B for 2 types: first-year classic form and short form. Website is used for B2C production. Daria, tell us about the clients.
Sure, Initiative 1, Russia and CIS. NLMK is already well known in Russia and must operate mostly in the state sector. For example, Russian Arctic development strategy includes construction of caissons where steel with corrosion-resistant coating is needed. Russian railways had a project of the replacement of specialized wagons. Also, attention should be paid to Rostech and rocket design bureaus.
Initiative 2, Europe. The European market is very promising, and the presence of a plant in Strasbourg will greatly facilitate logistics. There are 3 main directions. Construction. Cooperative construction companies like Vinci, which use steel in popular sandwich buildings. Renewable energy market. Edermege and Enel use steel for solar panels and rig equipment. And the third one, large automotive concerns use steel for the auto body parts and coatings for electric vehicles.
Initiative 3, Middle East and Northern Africa. We propose 2 new directions for a long-term strategy. Africa. As the population of Africa is constantly growing, there is a demand on construction, but Africa produces almost no steel. They do need steel, but they do not produce it. Middle East. Crude oil and refined petroleum are one of the most important export lines of iron. The United Arab Emirates is considered the country of the construction boom. So we propose cooperating with such companies as Zolar H, Iran Khodro, El Nabuda, Mizan Oil, which operate in automobile, energetic, and construction industries in Africa and Middle East. Daria, what are the new market entry risks?
I will introduce you risks for each stage of our strategy. Every risk was assessed by 4 criteria, and the resultant indicator is overall risks influence. Then the average for group was calculated. For new market entry, it is 0. To minimize new market entry risks, the strategy should be developed in detail, and each stage should be thought out in advance. Valeria, how to keep in touch with our clients?
Our marketing plan for working with small businesses is based on development of friendly relationship both online and offline. NLMK must be public and keep in touch with the Russian and foreign partners in social networks by conducting webinars. We are interested in collaborations with social influencers who have live subscribers. NLMK has to support volunteer sponsorship activities. Besides, partnering with universities and startups will also demonstrate how innovative NLMK is. What's about big businesses? Cooperation with large companies is more serious and formal. NLMK needs to take part in various national and foreign conferences and exhibitions. It is also necessary to take part in tenders of both state and private companies. In addition, mass media is searching for news about new developments. Daria, what are the marketing risks?
To minimize marketing risks, NLMK must hire professionals to secure and develop its social networks and soberly assess companies' capabilities. Dagmara, how to attract our new investors?
2 main components of invested attractiveness are financials and goodwill. Current financial position of NLMK is solid. Dividend stability index is also great. In order to increase company's goodwill, we introduced 3 trendy directions: eco-friendliness, technological advancement, and investments in human capital. NLMK already develops in these spheres, but we found out that the eco strategy of NLMK ended in 2020. Thus, we demand to publish a new one. Also, competitor MMK spent more money on their employees than NLMK does. So, investment on human capital must be increased.
To minimize investment risks, NLMK must quarterly publish financial statements, clearly state its values, and pay attention to goodwill. Daniil, is the project economically efficient?
Well, based on quarterly production of high-margin positions, we propose to produce 180,000 tons of new dump-covered steel with capacity of 30% in Strasbourg and 30% in Lipetsk. Considering stainless and zinc steel, inflation, and average foreign market prices, the price on NLMK new product will be 191,000 per ton with EBITDA margin 16%. Launch it in Russian and European market in 2022, and new regions as Northern Africa and Middle East will be entered in 2023. Daria, what are the financial risks?
To minimize financial risks, NLMK must increase sales in both external and domestic markets, as well as monitor fixed and variable costs. What is the overall influence? During the long go-to-market path, we faced risks. All of them have already been reviewed and minimized. Let's see the overall impact on the NLMK. The most influential group of risks is new market entry. This step must be controlled and forecasted in advance. It's also important to monitor financial risk because steel market conditions are unpredictable due to the business cycles and steel price volatility. Dagmar, please draw the conclusion.
Of course. Well, let me remind you the main points. Industries: heavy industry, construction, and energetics. Regions: short-term, domestic Russian market and European one. Also consider long-term possibilities, Northern Africa and Middle East. Clients: building friendly relationship with small companies and serious long-term cooperation with corporations and Russian state. Investment: be eco-friendly, invest in human capital and follow technological trends. Finance: price of steel with corrosion-resistant zinc, aluminum, magnesium coating is 191,000 per ton. Risks: most influencing are the new market risks, which must be mitigated in advance. 3, 2, 1, launch. Where case occupants. Detailed information can be seen in appendix. We're ready to discuss deal details.
Great, thanks a lot to case occupants for their presentation. And I already seen that we have a question from Fyodor Zakharchenko from Bain. Please ask your question.
Yeah, hi team, thanks a lot for the presentation. I have a question on the marketing and sales part. Yeah, so you mentioned that one of the key segment is a small business. Yeah, and you described in very detail how you're going to, well, boost the interest in this product, but how are you going to actually sell this product to small and medium enterprises who are most probably not under, well, they're under radar for such a big company like NLMK?
Okay, let me give you a brief introduction and then our marketing expert will continue. The point is that the modern sales and modern marketing is not about just buy our steel. It's about how you tell about your brand, how the world is aware of what are your strategy and what are you going to do. It's like in school, the coolest girl in a company, they all want to be friends with her. But if someone does her homework very well, it doesn't mean that they all want to be a partner. The question is how you try to promote the NLMK brand, and then automatically the interest in your product would be increased. Of course, it's a bit indirect marketing. Valeria, please tell us about more.
So thank you. Indeed, we are interested in drawing awareness and to our product. So our initiatives are based on promotion of our brand to both small and large companies.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot. And we have one more question from Ilya Belякov from NLMK, please.
Hello, team. Actually, I didn't catch up. Maybe you'll provide more detailed information on the pricing strategy. So what could be or should be pricing strategy for this new material?
Sure. Thank you for your question. When we tried to calculate the price, we tried to analyze not only the European market, but also the Russian. We tried to compare the possible price with the zinc steel and stainless steel. We also realized that the stainless steel would be more expensive. Therefore, our advantage is that we're selling cheaper. Yes, but the problem is that our price is more than the basic zinc steel, but the question is that our physical advantages are better. Therefore, we tried to compare and use the benchmarking strategy, find out some world releases of other companies, of our competitors, and find out the medium price, which would be most acceptable by the market.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for our experts and the team. And is there any more questions for case occupants? Please, jury, raise your hands and then you can ask the question. Okay, I guess there is no more question for your team. Thanks a lot again for your presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, and dear experts, now you can finalize your scores for case occupants team. And also, other team participants, please don't forget to fill the tables with questions to other teams for the Blitz session. And I guess it's time for our last team. Jager, you can prepare your technical issues and check your presentation.
Can you see it?
Yeah, we can. And you said about yourself that you're always find the best solutions in all the situations. And if you're ready, I will run the timer for you.
We are. Thank you. Our greetings to you, dear judges and viewers. The young team is in the building, and we are totally happy to present you our solution for the case. Let me introduce our team. Ivan, financier, Elena, technical specialist, Varvara, sales manager, and me, Nigora, market data analyst. Let's get rolling.
First thing first, let's start with the analysis. The rapid development of the market combined with the high competitiveness of the company create promising conditions for the launch of a new product. Our prospective target audience is represented by the construction and pipe industries and electromobiles. We offer to sell products in the European region in Turkey, Poland, and Latvia, and in the CIS to enter the Russian, Belarusian, and Uzbek markets as the most optimal for the first output of the product. A marketing campaign is needed to support the product. It includes participation in business events, launching podcasts, and using a targeted mailing. As a result, in 5 years, the company will receive about 1.2 billion rubles of net profits, 1.15% of ROI, and costs around 1.6 billion rubles. In addition to a significant financial impact, the company will expand its customer base and their loyalty, which altogether will give a synergetic effect and will allow Anlonka to obtain a confident position of a market leader. Nigora, I'm passing the floor to you.
Thanks, Lena. It's worth telling a little about the market. So, according to forecasts, the consumption of flat rope products will grow in the coming years. We also identified the main consumers of flat rope products: construction, automotive, oil and gas, and industrial equipment industries. In addition, Inalomka itself is in a very good position, especially in comparison with its competitors in the market. Thus, our company has almost 40% of the steel market. So we decided to choose 2 markets for the release of our new product for the first time. These are the CIS and European markets. Let's start with CIS, which is Russia, Belarus, and Uzbekistan because of their high consumption of Russian flat steel. In addition, a high increase in consumption is expected in these countries. For more detailed information, see Appendix number 2. And now about the European market. Despite the crisis and expectations of low growth in steel consumption, Turkey, Poland, and Latvia are also promising markets. These countries generally consume a large amount of Russian flat-rolled products. In the appendix, you can see the exact figures of consumption of flat-rolled products from Russia. Let's now find our target audience. A word to you, Vara.
Thanks, Nigora. We divide the target audience of the steel sheets into 3 main groups. Some of them are already existing customers, whereas other industries are prosperous for future development of relations with NLMK. The first group are building companies in Europe and the Commonwealth of Independent States. Building companies buy 9% of steel sheets for steady facade construction. Other prospective customer is electromobile industry of Asian countries and the USA, which is gaining popularity rapidly. E-cars need to be corrosion resistant and durable, so NLMK galvanized steel sheets are the best solution for them. Finally, Asian and the CIS pipe industry is also among the most faithful NLMK clients, as pipes need to be secure and long-lasting, which can be easily maintained with the help of the steel sheets. So let's move on to the special features of our lists. Vanya?
Thanks, Varvara. The company's anti-corrosion list has an excellent investment appeal. In addition to the new improvements in coating, which reduce the impact of corrosion and electrical conductivity several times, the sheet has a greater environmental friendliness. Also, despite the increase in the cost of the product, the financial results reflect the success of the project being implemented. Moreover, if you use the QR, you will see that we have developed an automatic calculator for calculating the degree of corrosion, resistance, and financial indicators. So, over to you, Lena.
Oh yeah, Vanya, thank you. Our product seems almost perfect, but here's the question: how will our customers and products find each other? Our answer is still list and client's journey map. Our one was asked to find sheets for a large project of the company, and he was happy to take up the task. On the way to the conference, he came across an on-cast podcast, which talked about the company's new products. Arriving at the site, he met his old friends rushing to the presentation of innovative galvanized sheets. The product show has a great success. Ivan was impressed with the parameters of the new product and realized that his company needed it. Yes, I just have to show them to the chief. Sanich will be delighted, thought Ivan, and left his mail for a pre-order. A few days later, Ivan was sitting in a chair, chilling and surfing through the internet. Suddenly, the alert sounded. It was a mail from NLMK. He immediately remembered his plan. Received approval of a chief, a satisfied Ivan placed an order for his company, Kirpichika. Finally, the product and the consumer have found each other. It's not a secret that the marketing company pushed our consumers to choose NLMK products. Let's take a closer look. First, for such a serious company as NLMK, it's necessary to attend business events as they allow to increase TA awareness and trust. Secondly, it's necessary to keep a constant contact with the existing target audience in order to constantly temper their interest in the company. The targeted mailing about NLMK's offer helped to do this. And nowadays, podcasts are gaining popularity. Our podcasts are dedicated to the daily lives of people and the company, and we have a unique one, a Samoyar melting metal. We offer them as they perfectly find and heat TA. For a more detailed analysis and the example of the implementation, see appendix number 4. Varya, what are the risks?
Thank you, Lena. Our team highlights 3 categories of risks of the steel list's economic circle. The first group are risks connected with production of the sheets. These risks affect the company's assets and quality of the product and can be fully mitigated by corporate and financial policy of NLMK. The second group of risks is connected to exportation. Such hardships include political and economic changes on the international arena. These risks are more tough to control and harm the company more significantly. However, we have thought of measures to minimize the potential damage of them. The third group are risks connected to selling, which can be estimated in the revenue and the product loss, but can be mitigated by thoughtful company's policy. Now, I'm passing the word to our financier, Vanya.
Thanks, Varvara. We analyzed the product sales strategy until 2025. Taking into account the introduction of the first initiative in the second quarter of 2021. and the start of production in early 2022. Thanks to the gradual implementation of marketing initiatives and the subsequent launch of the production of steel sheets, with innovating coating, of course, we will receive a ROI of 150%, a profit of 1 billion, and an NPV of 569 rubles. These indicators reflect the effectiveness of introduction a new product to the market.
So on this note, we end our speech. If you have any questions, you can always contact us via our email. That was Yager Team, a bright future with ferrous metallurgy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yager Team. And it's time to the questions for you. And I can see the first one from Fedor Zaharchenko, Bain.
Yeah, hi team. Thanks a lot for the presentation. Well, I had two questions, but I think I have only one to ask. So on the revenue side, you have the statistics and quarterly one on the last slide or on the first one. So what is the reason behind the figures in 2024 and 2025? Why are revenue in these 2 years lower than in 2023? Because you mentioned that it is a rapid increase in the production, yes, and I would assume that you would just boost the production by your marketing means. So why the revenues are lower?
So thanks for your question. It's really interesting, but we guess that when we start a new product to the new market, it will high demand of this product, and then for some period, high demand is reduced, as we can see in 2024. But in long period, we know that our product is very high quality product, and we see the positive trend of this its consumption.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Fedor, for your question. Is there any question to the Yager team, please?
I have the second one. May I ask?
Yeah, okay, yes.
Yeah, so well, this product it is sort of value-added product, yeah. So I would guess that you would price it in your model well higher than standard NLMK products. Did you assess the willingness to pay from the customer side? What is well, you talk a lot about how this product is better than the standard one, but did you make this assessment of, well, I don't know, maybe customers will need to replace 30% you know, less often or something like that? Did you have this type of analysis?
So thank you for your question. If I understand it correctly, you ask whether our consumers would be eager to pay more for the high quality of our product in comparison to our competitors. And I can state that all our potential target audience are rapidly developing companies that firstly are interested in the quality, and these companies are really financially sustainable, so they really don't face any difficulties in paying some more finances to gain better products, because the projects they realize are really long-term. So we surely took into consideration the willingness of our consumers to buy high value added products of our company.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much for your questions. I can see that there are, yeah, Ilya, please ask your question.
So I have the following question. Hello, team. You paid attention to the how to say electro vehicle automobiles. So it's very popular at the moment and very rapidly growing market. And what is your idea behind this market? How we can reach this market? Or maybe what should be our go-to-market strategy? And okay, that's enough for the question.
So yeah, thank you for your question. Yes, you're right. E-car industry is rapidly developing now. So if we take into consideration that this market is developing in Asian region and the USA countries, we should really pay more attention to the company's promotion campaign into these regions, because now the demand in Asian countries on the company's products is not as high as we want it to be. So if we talk about your question and our concrete measures, exact measures, we can say that firstly, we should apply some marketing and economic strategies. We should promote our product on these markets, and it would be conducted by our targeting initiatives about which we talk in our solution. And also probably we should state more of our advantages in comparison to our competitors, because electromobiles really require high quality of steel, and not many companies in the world market of steel can provide it, and LNK is one of them. So we should state our advantages on the international arena.
So also I can add that it's also a prospective target audience such as electromobile production. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much to Jager team and to experts for your questions. I guess if there is no any, the time is over, and I would like to thank the team again for your presentation. And I can officially say that we finished the first round of our case competition. And now, please, dear experts, if you don't finalize your scores for Jager team, please do it right now. Dear participants and juries, now we'll have a short break, and you can turn off your microphones and cameras in Zoom, but please stay here and do not leave the session. We will return after a short break with the intermediate results after the first round. Thank you. And we will start our second round at 2 a.m. Thanks. Hello again, dear participants and the jury, and thanks for your patience. Now it's time to show the leaderboard based on the first round of our competition. And I guess I can show you it. Do you hear? Do you see the leaderboard?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to notice that this is not the final results, and everything can be changed during the two other stages of our competition. But based on the preliminary results of the first stage, the first place is for case occupants. The second is for self-confident gang presentation. The third is for case busters presentation. The fourth is for Jaeger. The fifth for big three presentation, and the sixth place for ladies presentation. But once again, it is not the final results, and the scores are so tight that everything can be changed during the two next stages. And now let's start the second round, a blitz. It takes place in two circles. On each one, we want to ask one question to each team. So pre-selected two participants from each team will answer the question. This round is very short and intensive, and you have just 30 seconds to think and respond. I will ask to turn on the cameras only for those participants who participate in the blitz session, and please turn off the cameras and micros for the rest. And I will just name the participants from each team right now, and then you can just turn on your cameras and micros. And also, I just want to remind for our juries that you also should evaluate this round using your scoring tables. There you can find round 2, and you should mark each question with scores from 0 to 5, and the final result for the second round will be the arithmetic average based on 2 of them. So please, from the ladies team, I would like to invite for blitz Gushkova Ekaterina and Kamalidinova Elmira. Girls, please turn on your, yeah, I can see you. From big 3, I want to invite Supuralieva Madina and Kurnosov Artyom. Yeah, I guess I can see that you're here as well. From case busters for blitz session, we have Argakov Alexander and Yegai Mikhail. From self-confident gang, we have Ivanov Yegor and Kovalova Maria. And from case occupants, we have Barshigova Dagmara, Peznikova Daria. And from Jaeger team, we have Iskandarova Nigora and Malachov Ivan. Okay, guys, I guess you all are here. And please be ready, and we will start just in seconds. Okay, I guess we can start. Just one technical issue. I just need to double sure that everything is fine and all the questions are here. Okay. For the first stage of the Blitz, I would like to answer Gushkova Ekaterina from ladies team. And here is the question. What were the most important factors while making decisions about investment attractiveness and time?
Well, I got the question. Thank you very much. So, if we talk about attractiveness in terms of investments, so we have a really good product with high quality, and also our pricing policy is not much higher than the regular steel and zinc coating. And what is more, it is more eco-friendly, and now, right now it's more
sorry, yeah, your time is over. And the next question is for Supuralieva Madina from Big Three. Madina, are you here? Yeah, and the question is case question number 2 concerns investments. Which exact initiatives for increase in investment attractiveness did you provide? Time.
Okay, we calculated the increase in investment attractiveness by calculating the total revenue that we get from introducing our project. And we've counted that a successful GTM strategy will allow us to increase our investment attractiveness in non-digital, like number terms. So GTM strategy, we proposed a joint development solution with clients.
Sorry, time.
Yes.
Time is over. Thanks for your response. And the next participant is from Case Busters. Please, Argakov Alexander, this question is for you. And why do you think online ads will play out to such a sphere as steel? Time.
Yes, because steel consumers are very different, and for particular segment of them, that would be a good channel to promote our product. For instance, for small and middle scale players, that will be considerably effective promotion company, because they make a decision based on the offers they deal with online. So I think that will work for them, first of all.
Okay, thanks your time. Thank you. Just a short reminder for the jury, please evaluate our teams as well for this round. You can find the Blitz section in your scoring tables, and please fill it with the scores. Now it's question 1, I mean the first round, and please fill your marks there. And I guess we can continue with a self-confident gang. And I would like to invite Ivanov Yegor, please.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. And the question for you, are you sure this that steel will meet the requirements for buildings' roof panels? Time.
Yes, we're certain that it has the requirements because roofs also make contact with water. And if you talk about the farming industry, and the roofs for barns are also making contact with ammonia water. So we think that it would be a great choice to make a roof from
sorry. Yeah,
steel.
Sorry, time. Thank you very much for your response, Yegor. And the next team is case occupants, and I would like to invite Borshigovu Dagmaru. Please, Dagmara, are you here? Can you hear me?
Yes, I do. Do you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. Everything is fine. And the question for you is, why do you believe Africa will need some coating? The environment there is not aggressive, no high humidity or thermal differences. And why will Africa buy such an expensive material when they can't afford it? Time.
Thank you. For the first point, this material is not as expensive as basic stainless steel. That's why it is not very expensive. The second point is that Africa needs construction because their demography is always increasing, the population is always increasing, therefore they need to create more and more buildings, and this is the main point. It's not so expensive and they need constructing.
Okay, thank you very much for your answer. The next team is Yager. Please, I would like to invite Iskandarova Nigora. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, and this is a question for you. How are you going to make pipes from metal that is extremely difficult to weld and which loses all its advantages after that? Time.
So thank you for your question. We're not going to build these pipes. We are going to sell them to pipe industry, and it will be very necessary for this industry because our steel sheet is anti-corrosion. Is anti-corrosion, and it will be very necessary. And there is very there is mainly advantages.
Sorry, time. Thank you very much for your response. Yeah, dear jury, please keep in mind that we've just finished the first stage of the Blitz session. Please do not forget to fill your scoring tables for the teams. And now we are ready to start the second stage of the Blitz session. Again, I would like to invite ladies team. Kamalidinova Elmira, please.
Yes,
can you hear me? Yeah, great. And this question is for you. You have mentioned flexible prices. In which exact regions of Europe do you consider flexible prices if the sanctions against Russia are only getting time?
We actually considered sea regions such as, for example, Spain and Greece, because our material is very useful for these regions due to high humidity and our anti-corrosion resistance. So we considered, first of all, these regions because anti-corrosion is of high demand there. And we believe that sanctions will not be an obstacle for an LMK's product to enter the market there.
Thanks, time. Thank you very much for your response. I would like to invite the next team, Big Three, Kurnosov Artyom, please. Are you here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The next question is for you. Which risks you consider to be emerging risks and which process risks? What about the social and demographic risks? Time.
Yeah, we've included risks in our presentation. Emerging risks are currency risk, refusal to obtain a European quality certificate, we already have it, and macroeconomic risk. Process risks are logistic risks, risks of missed deadlines, unsatisfactory product quality, and ineffective operating activities also. And we already have operating quality. It's good, yeah. There are no risks.
Okay, time. Sorry. Thanks a lot for your answer. And now it's time for case busters.
Yes.
Yeah, Yegay Mikhail. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can.
Okay, and then the next question is for you. Just a small technical issue, sorry about that. Okay. Okay, why do you think that your product will be of interest to European customers, given that Europe already has similar technologies? Time.
Well, we think that our product will be interesting to European market because there are a lot of countries, particularly Germany and many others, that import steel, and they do need in some steel from other countries outside of the Europe, and we have the best price, which can meet their expectations, and also it has quite excellent qualities. So we guess that price and quality are the main reasons why it will be popular in European market.
Sorry, time. Thank you very much for your answer. Dear judges, please don't forget to evaluate our participants during the last stage of the Blitz session in your scoring tables. And I would like to invite the self-confident gang, Kovaleva Maria.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, and this question is for you. Why chosen by your team clients will agree to buy our hard-to-weld steel instead of a basic conventional galvanized steel, which is easier to weld? Time.
There are a lot of benefits. For example, if we want to introduce it to salt environments, let's not forget that about salt spray that was in 2,500 hours. ZAM is obviously better. ZAM is cheaper than usual stainless steel. And let's not forget about ammonia test. So ZAM has a lot of advantages, and it's better for European customers.
Time.
And of course,
sorry, time. Thank you very much for your response. And then I would like to invite case occupants.
Yes.
Pozdnyakova Daria.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Everything is fine. Great sound. And this question is for you. Can you name examples of your product application, remembering that this is basically a flat sheet of metal? Time.
Yes, of course. First of all, in constructions, buildings, walls inside the content, and also in power engineering, it's solar panels, and heavy industry about cars and autos, and in buildings and constructions, also sandwich houses, which is important. Thank you.
Okay. Time. Thank you very much for your response. And the last team and the last participant is Malachov Ivan from Yager.
Yeah,
and this question is for you. What risk do you consider the most relevant one according to your MTG strategy?
So thank you for your question. Frankly speaking, we analyze all aspects in our risk. Unfortunately, I can show it in our appendix. We have many different links, and in the slide we have only 9 risks, and we consider that it is all main risk because it is all very important. But we work in Europe, and exportation is more important risk, I think.
Okay, thank you very much for your response. And the Blitz session is over. Please, judges, one more time, a small reminder